And thanks for mentioning the Gestalt again, because it really sounds like grasping the whole, and then later one can parse it, analyze it, discuss about it. And so it's again one of these inversions that we discussed at the beginning of your book that I really love, which is as if the whole comes first and then the parts. And there's this trend of thinking that things are reversed, and we're taught that, well, here we have this bit, and then you put them together. But what may be going on is actually the opposite. We get the whole, and then we can parse it.
That's right. And there's a further step, which is having parsed it or turned it into its parts, analyzed it, we then need to reintegrate it. And quite simply, in much of the way in which we're taught in the West, we think we've understood things when we've got to that intermediary phase where we've taken it apart. Yeah. It's like you've cut it all up into pieces, you've got it on the laboratory table, and you say, well, I don't know what all this stuff adds up to, but we've got the parts here. But you can then work out lots of interesting things to do with the parts, but you must take the further step back into reality where all this information is not in the forefront of your consciousness, but is sophisticating your understanding of the whole. This is what I call the right to left to right progression. And it's a literal temporal progression. So Elkin and Goldberg researched this at great length, that first of all experience in the immediacy of its unknownness is taken in by the receptive right hemisphere. And then when the brain thinks it understands what it is, it categorizes it in the left hemisphere and takes it apart. But then we have to take all that information back and make it whole again. What worries me is that we stop at that intermediate phase. It would be rather like having a lot of experience of life and making some digital formulas about it that you think a computer could work on, and they would give you interesting information about the situation, a social situation perhaps, or a complex situation of a personal kind or of a societal kind. And just feeding the data into the computer and thinking the printout tells you the answer. The printout is only something that an intelligent human being can understand, taking it back into the context out of which the original questions came.
Yes, I think it was Henri Bergson who wrote, after having cut your cloth, one must sew it back. And your book, The Matter with Things, is an embodiment of that effort, actually. So not only are you talking about that, but that's what it is. That's how I look at it. It's this starting with a whole, then going into all of these parts and details, but then the huge effort to synthesize the thing again into a whole.
Yes, thank you. I hadn't really thought of it like that, but it's certainly true.